Welcome to CSLDallas, a spiritual community deep in the heart of Texas, connecting with kindred spirits around the world. You're invited to explore around the edges or dive right into our powerful teachings, practical practices, mystical experiences, and heart-opening connections. This month, we explore the journey of life. As we grow ourselves, co-create with the universe, experience joy, and transform the world, one life at a time. We love being in community, whether it's in person or virtually. So glad that you are here. So let's get started with your body-moving music with our fabulous CSLDallas music team.
Sisters and brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love show. We are family, we're sisters and brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love everywhere that we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love show. We are family, we're sisters and brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love everywhere that we go. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love everywhere that we go.
Right on. Good morning, CSL Dallas. Hey, it's good to see this small but mighty crowd in the sanctuary on Labor Day weekend. Thanks for being with us, and everybody online, great to see you too. We have a guest with us today. Lenora, would you hold your hand up and say hi? Lenora is an online participant for months and months and months and months. First time physically in our sanctuary. Isn't it great to have her here? And great to know that you're online with us. We have something special for our online folks. We'll talk about that a little bit later today. Let's begin today by reading our purpose statement together and how we come together. We show up like this. We are radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, transforming lives. And so it is. All right, here it comes. You know, spiritual practice is important. Someone asked me this weekend, how did you get through that like that? I mean, you were just like so chill. What happened? You know, how did that happen? How come you weren't all? And I said, well, I've been practicing for that moment. And spiritual practice happens here at CSL Dallas, workshops and in Sunday talks and getting together in classes and online. Here we go. 3 great opportunities to learn and grow in September. First, Dr. Petra shares that she is offering Ernest Holmes, His Life and Times, and starting this Thursday. Dr. Petra's been studying teaching and going deeper into homes in his life and his teaching for decades. So you can join Dr. Petra online, 7 p.m. Central Time, and see how for yourself the life and times of Ernest Holmes can impact your life for the better. Second, we have a powerful workshop. Do you sometimes feel stuck, or you want to feel more invigorated, inspired, and productive, but you just can't seem to find the super sauce to make it happen? Well, you're not alone. This can happen even more often after we've had some setbacks. Join practitioner Carol Merlo as she teaches the FIRE, FIRE formula. This workshop is designed to help you focus on empowering positive thoughts, igniting your passion, and building lasting relationships. These work to create habits, and you will bring results. This is online only, starts September 22nd, or it is on September 22nd. It's from 1 to 3:30 p.m. You can register for one or both of these great opportunities at csldallas.org/education. Go to the current schedule button or go to the events calendar and find the date. Click your way into your future. And the third opportunity to dive in deep is the power of your word. That's beginning on September 30th. There is a power for good, and it seeks to help you and support you always and express itself as you. We access this power through consciously speaking our word from an unshakable spiritual foundation. We can teach you how to do this, creating manifestation and miracles in your life by using the amazing technology of a spiritual mind treatment. Discover that this power is always available as you deepen your practice, strengthen your foundation, and align in your word. Experience the faith and fire of a life lifted by a dedicated spiritual mind treatment practice. This is an online class at 7 to 9:30 Central Time. Register at csldallas.org. And this is what I was saying was coming up. We are introducing something new, CSL Dallas Virtual Reflect, Express, Connect, a Sunday evening gathering. We're excited to announce something very special for our online community. A Sunday evening virtual gathering beginning September 8th, so that's next Sunday, at 7 p.m. Central Time. If you've been wanting to connect with our online community, the CSL Dallas Virtual Reflect, Express, Connect, a Sunday evening gathering is the place to be. It starts at 7 o'clock, it goes for 45 minutes, and it's designed for you to get connected, explore the weekly topic, and deepen in science of mind with our spiritual coaches and volunteers. To register, head on over to the website calendar and click on the September 8th date for the Zoom link. You only have to register for the Zoom one time, and then you'll be able to get in on all the Sunday evenings. I can't wait to join the online community. I've been kind of thinking, wow, I'd love to see all these people like a Zoom meeting or something. Here we go. Starts next Sunday. Now, whether you're joining us for the first time today or you've been connected for years, welcome. We are so glad you are with us at CSL Dallas. However you found us, in person or online, we'd love to stay in touch with you. Stay in the know by following us on social media, leave us a Google review, sign up for our weekly newsletter by filling out a Connect card. Looks like this. They're at the back tables. If you haven't done this yet, get signed up for emails and text. Great inspiration during the week and ways to continue your spiritual practice and remind you how awesome you are and what a great week you're having. It happens here through registering using the Connect card. All right, let's settle into this morning now. We've got our great music team up here together. Singing with us today is Cleo, Glenda, and Candy. And Jim Barong will be taking us deeper in spiritual prayer today. And let's sit back and enjoy some CSL Dallas music team.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and
please join me. Relax. Be online, here on campus, and close your eyes if you feel so comfortable doing that. And let's take a breath in and out and relax to get centered in this moment. I invite you to contemplate love. Love, on that big divine love, that impulse creates life itself. Love that's such a strong impulse that through the millennia, people have referred to love as God, and God is love, that kind of power. That fire that's the fire of the universe that fires everything. Love that heightens our emotions, our feelings, makes us want to be a better person. Kindness, caring, sensitivity, beauty, all of these things are expressions of love. I invite you to take that into your life today at this moment and show an expression of that love, however that might be. Open yourself up to giving love, and then you receive love, the beautiful circle of life itself. Love that fuels everything, and love that you can experience and know that you are of that one by breath. That simple breath in and that simple breath out. The beauty, the wonderment, the power, the joy of love. I invite you to carry that with you this week and choose love. I invite you to claim with me, this is so and good, by saying together, and so it is.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see. There is only little song Bobby wrote. We want you to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy. In your life, you got some trouble, but when you worry, you make it double. Don't worry. Be happy. Now the angels are gonna sing. Listen. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy now. Don't worry. Be happy. Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry. Be happy. You got it. The landlord said your rent is late. He gon' have to litigate. Don't worry. Oh, no, no, no. Be happy. And the angels gonna sing. All the angels gonna sing. Come on. Don't you worry, be happy. Hey, don't worry. Be happy. Listen, ain't got no cash, ain't got no style, ain't got no loving to make you smile. Don't worry. Be happy. 'Cause don't you know, when you worry, your face will frown. That'll bring everybody down. Don't worry. Don't you worry, don't you worry, no. Be happy. Hey, hey, sing your song. Don't over that money. So don't order that money. Don't you worry, be happy. Oh, don't worry. Be happy. Now listen, that's the little song that Brother Bobby wrote. We hope you sing it note for note. Don't worry. What you say? Be happy. That's it right there. 'Cause in your life you got trouble, but when you worry, you make it double. Don't worry. Don't you worry, y'all. Be happy. Be happy, happy now. Yeah, yeah. Just get you some happy going. You gon' be alright, one foot in front of the other. Smile. You look so much better when you smile. Yeah. Don't you worry, be happy, no. Don't worry. Just look at me. Do I look like I worry? Do I look like I worry? Oh, no, 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 no. So don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Don't worry. Be happy. You look so much better when you're happy. Be happy. Oh, be happy.
Thank you, Glenda, Cleo, and Candy. Thank you, Brad, Jonathan, and Matt. Thank you so much. So much fun. Don't worry. Be happy. Thank you so much. Oh, I forgot my clicker. I was having so much fun. Forgot what I was doing. All right. Don't worry. Be happy. And then you have to go to work, right? Or deal with your family, or whatever it is. Bills, right? Don't worry, be happy, except for when, no. Mm-mm. So this month we're talking about the journey of life. And before we start, I want to give a huge shout out to Dr. Tracy Brown once again for so ably supporting me and our community for the month of August. Thank you so much, Dr. Tracy. It was truly fun to actually be here and not be gone and get to see in the back and listen to Tracy speak and get to see what was all going on and keep our moving going. I will let you know right up front, there's no moving today. It's the holidays. We're all taking a break. Yay! So this month we're talking about the journey of life. And So the Hindus have a really, there's so much about the Hindu tradition. It's so fascinating and so right on. And so one of the things that they talk about is that we, in our journey of life, have basically 4 stages that we go through, right? We have the student phase, all the way from childhood, all the way up through whatever it is, education, whatever we're doing, learning how to be a human being, learning how to navigate the world. Maybe we get an education, maybe we go into trade school, whatever it is, we're learning. And that is our student phase. And then we have what's called the householder phase. And the householder phase has everything to do with having a home, a family, a career, work, bills, things to do, lots of emails, lots of to-do lists, lots of stuff, things to take care of, cars that have to be repaired. We could go on and on, right? That's the householder phase. At the end of the householder phase, right, we go into this idea that we no longer have that. Our children are grown and gone. We're maybe not working in the same way. And for the Hindus, that implies a retreat from all of the activity and opportunity to reflect, to become more about our own personal spiritual work and spiritual growth. And the 4th stage, and they talk about like going into the forest, and the 4th stage is to come back out of the forest, having reflected on a lifetime, having built our spiritual grounding, and now coming back as the sage, the wise elder, as the sort of final stage in life. And it's a beautiful representation of a lovely arc, especially works when you're in a hunter-gatherer or an agrarian society, early feudal society, even early towns and cities. Not so much today, is it? Not quite so linear. What we're doing today is not quite so linear. We seem to be involved in all kinds of things all of the time. We're wanting to grow our spirituality and grow our life and grow our children and grow our business and grow our careers and grow our academic and, right? So that's why today we're starting with creating life-work balance, especially in our culture today. Life-work balance is a huge conversation, has been probably for the last 50 years or so. Life-work balance, especially the faster and faster life has become. Interestingly enough, the more of our appliances that are supposed to be saving all of our time, of course, now we have to work to pay for them. So it's all kind of an interesting conundrum. It's an interesting thing to think about. There's a beautiful book I highly recommend if you haven't read it. It's called Sapiens. I can't begin to think of the name of the person, but it's literally just called Sapiens. And it's a history of basically planet Earth from the time of the earliest humanoids to today. And it's fascinating. There's some fascinating theses he has in there. Some of them are just like mind-blowing. But the one thing that he said is we have it all wrong. The hunter-gatherer societies, they worked like 3 to 6 hours a day. And then they sat around and they told stories. And they hung out. They went on a hunt and they came back. Made some baskets and then they sat around. It's like, wow. And we think they were, struggling to survive. How many of us have been, are, or know people who are today struggling to survive? Right? That idea of we're all cogs in a machine, or the treadmill of going to work, coming home, paying the bills, getting food on the table, trying to get enough sleep so we can go back to work again. So interestingly enough, creating work-life balance actually was first, the idea of work-life balance. Oh, and let me just say, notice that we're not talking about work-life balance. I want to talk about creating life-work balance. The first time work-life balance was actually used as a term was actually in the 70s in women's magazines, as women were struggling to be more in the workplace and were still expected. Well, if you watch the Barbie movie, it hasn't changed all that much, has it? Raise the children, take care of the home, do all of the things that they've always done, and, oh, by the way, work as well. And that's the first time work-life balance actually became an issue. And it was specifically speaking and supporting women in how to manage this overload of responsibilities and activities, where the householder phase was no longer seen as a division of labor, those going out into the world to provide and those staying at home to take care of the home. But now everybody was going out into the world, and only some people were taking care of the children and the home. Good enough. Some of that has really been changing over the last 50 years. So now we all struggle with it, right? We all have to deal with this work-life balance. But I really want to frame it as life-work balance, right? Putting life first in the equation, not necessarily work. Although our culture really does support this idea, especially with all the ways that we are able to be communicated with while we're working outside of work, on vacation, over the weekends, all the ways in which we are still expected to be present, to be available. And so work becomes more and more and more and more sort of the primary thing. It's just an interesting thing to think about since women have really gotten into the marketplace, right? This has been global. It has been studied that this is one of the fundamental reasons the global economy has continued to thrive, regardless of whatever else you're hearing. Regardless of little recessions and crashes here and there, the overarching direction of the global economy has been extraordinarily upward. Less and less and less people in poverty, less and less people unable to feed their children, less and less people challenged by it, and it is 100%. Said that it's because women are getting educated and they're going into the workplace. Changes everything. In addition, it has, in those places where the education of women and women going into the workplace has become a priority, those countries are more and more and more peaceful. Regardless of anything you're reading. If you're not getting it, please get fixthenews.com newsletter. The statistics are astonishing, and they are not in the American media. All of this, the ability to take care of family planning, to choose when and or if to have children, is a massive part of the development of the economy that has lifted so many people out of poverty globally, worldwide, in astonishing numbers. I love this meme that I read the other day. It says pro-choice doesn't mean you love abortion. It means you value a woman's right to her autonomy and her choices. And work-life balance has been primarily a women's issue. But I'm thinking for most of us, right, for the men in the room, that has crept over into a larger reality, that we're all experiencing it because our culture has speeded up so fast. So I want to talk about life-work balance, a priority where our whole life is prioritized, a way of living our life where our whole life is prioritized. You know, and sometimes this gets a little sticky, especially in New Thought, because we talk about do what you love and the money will follow. Do things that you have a passion for and the work will be great. This is how you get prosperity, as you work and you find passion and you get a job. And well, but what about all the rest of your life? Right? A whole life. Sometimes, and I talked about it this morning, I had a job for 2.5 years so that I could go to school. Sometimes we work so that we can do other things, so that we can travel, so that we can build a business. We work at something while we're building another business, so that we can go to school or develop a craft. Work isn't always the end-all, be-all. And sometimes I think we forget that. And sometimes even in the way we talk about it in New Thought and in the science of mind, we forget that. It's a whole life that we're seeking to build. So this is what I want to talk about, a life-work balance. I love this quote, "You will never be truly satisfied by work until you are satisfied by life." Okay, I want to tell you that for all the leadership stuff I've done and all the organizational development I've done and a lot of the spiritual work I've done, that quote would actually be the reverse. You won't be happy in your life unless you're happy in your work, unless you've found your passion and done your thing. And I love this idea, right? Because we believe in the wholeness of our lives, that we're whole beings, and that there's more to life than just making money, paying our bills, and the purely sort of householder idea of being a householder. We don't separate it out. We might be householders and go back to school. And we're doing our spiritual work. We're here, right? We're taking classes. We're listening to, we're being online, all of those things. We're doing all of those things simultaneously in many ways because we want to be satisfied by our lives. So when we think about being satisfied by our lives, this wheel of life, I know the yellow is a little hard to see, and I'm sorry about that. The wheel of life, this wheel of life, there's one that's 6, but I really like this one that has all 8 aspects of our life. Health and fitness, money, career and business, social and friends, love, family and kids, personal growth, hobbies, recreation and fun, and spirituality. 8 areas of life. Notice that money and career and business are only 2 of the 8. Also, I love this particular image because it shows that not all of the areas of our life are fully present all the time, right? I think the other thing we remember is that there are seasons in our life. I can remember I was very, very, very involved in CSL. I was flying all around the country doing a lot of work at CSL when Jason was really little because I had a lot of support at home with my mom. And I got into a relationship where I had a lot of support, so I was able to do that. And Jason started hitting the early teen years, and I thought, I better be at home. And that was the moment where I chose to say, I'm not going to travel anymore. I definitely got shuttled off onto the mommy track, no question about it. But it was in service to the health and well-being of my family. Super important to me. right? And so at that point, some of the work that I was doing outside of CSLDallas actually completely faded away. And all of the time that I spent with Jason and his teenage friends got way bigger. Do you see? Sometimes we're building our retirement. Sometimes we're going back to school. Sometimes we're really promoting, wow, I really need something to do besides work all the time. Well, I'm going to learn how to dance, or I'm going to, start walking more. Do you see all these different things? And we have seasons where different aspects of our life come to the forefront. And so one of the things that I think about is that we make a mistake, I think, in the science of mind when we say you can have it all. I just sucked the air right out of the room. What? Here's what I say. Yes, you can have it all, just not necessarily all at the same time. I think sometimes we are our own worst enemy because we feel like I'm limiting myself if I choose to really pay attention to my family right now, or I choose to really pay attention to my schooling right now, or I choose to really pay, well, what about the rest of my life, right? And then we try to do it all. And we've added to our own stress, our own sense of being out of balance, our own sense of run. Or there's not enough left over for a few of the pieces that would, in fact, actually fill us back up again. Yes, you can have it all, just not necessarily all at the same time. Do you see, that was a powerful moment for me when I said, I was playing with a lot of the big wigs. I was going to a lot of amazing seminars and speaking at conferences, and I was getting to know a lot of the names of the people that you watch on YouTube and that you read their books. I was hanging out with all of them, and I chose my son needed me. That was a choice I made. Did I feel limited by it? No. Because I knew that this was the time, the season. This was the season. And do you see, part of how we create life-work balance is we begin to pay attention to the season that we're in. What does this season call for? And it may be that if we go back to that wheel of life, some of the things are a little bit less present because now other things are present. What we don't want to do is neglect them forever, right? We do eventually need to continually move around the wheel, bring other things to the forefront when we've spent a lot of time on something else, right? So our life-work balance is a whole life. So not just the whole life that I'm having right now, but the whole life that I'm having. Does that make sense? Right? It's called prioritizing. It's recognizing that when we choose, we are not limiting ourselves. We are using the greatest gift we have, which is the ability to choose to focus and create. What I learned also during this whole period of time, I struggled mightily with learning how to say no to things I didn't want to do because I have this ridiculously overblown sense of responsibility and duty. And I think I should say yes to everything because I'm supposed to. So I learned how to say no to the things I didn't want to do. That was great. You know, it was even harder to say no to the things I wanted to do because it's not the season. There's not time. Right now, it's not a priority. I mean, I could try to shoehorn it into my life, but maybe that's not the best way to think about it. Lots of choices, lots of opportunities to be able to pick and choose which ones fit, which ones further, which ones feed or allow me to feed others. Do you see? Remember that work and life coexist. Wellness at work follows you home and vice versa. So this is one of the reasons why I love that Tracy will take Augusts. I learned long ago, I work hard. Could we say borderline workaholic if I were not careful, right? A borderline, I can work a lot because I love my job. But I also play hard. Now, I take a day off a week. Notice it's not a weekend. Notice it's not 2 days. I take a day off a week. And it took me a long time to go from taking 2 weeks off to taking 3 weeks off to taking a whole month off. And people were like, what? What's happening to your community? Oh my God, how will they get along without you? What if they make a mistake while you're gone? What will you do? How will you fix it? Okay, nobody's indispensable. Let me remind you, at your job, you are not indispensable. I don't care what anybody tells you, how much pressure they put on you. Nobody is indispensable. And when I started stepping away, other people got to step up, right? And they got to see how much I could trust them, and I got to see how much I could trust them. And sometimes I came home and things happened, and I got to not say a word about it. Because, right? I needed that time away. And when I mean break, I mean full break. And I used to go out of the country because nobody could get a hold of me. Now there's Wi-Fi everywhere, and that's not so true. So now I have to rely on my own discipline instead of the excuse that, I can't be reached. I mean, I've had phone calls at the top of 12,000 feet up in the Colorado mountains. I've had a phone call like, ooh, man, 5G is everywhere now. But this idea that wellness at work follows you home, wellness at home also follows you at work. One of the things I'm the most interested in hearing from people that I think is really fascinating is how much we think that we have to be different at work than we are at home. And so we have to become somebody else at work than who we are at home. And so my experience is when I see that and observe that is that is not a wellness at work and a wellness at home. We're either short shrifting home or we're short shrifting work. So making sure that we have the time, the break, the consciousness to be well at home, right, also has to do with priorities so that we're not working all the time. For me, people will ask me, especially ministers, how have you been a minister for 40 years? How did that work? And I said, well, I had a child. Well, wasn't that hard? Yes, sometimes I felt very stretched. But the gift of having a child is that when I went home, I was mom. I wasn't the minister. And I couldn't work because I went home at 2:30 and he needed help to do his homework. And we had other boys in the house. And when it gets really quiet, you have to go find out what they're doing. They need to know there's somebody around who's paying attention, right? And the fact that I had a child to raise, as challenging and stretching as it was an amazing balancing for me. Because when I was home, I turned that off. I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn how to turn it off and say, okay, when he's in bed, I can get back on my email. When he's in bed, I can respond to a text. When he's in bed, I can work on preparing for my class. Do you see? And today, how easily that all bleeds together. Taking texts while we're sitting at the dinner table, answering the phone in the middle of having a conversation with somebody else in the room, right? All the ways in which we think multitasking works. You know that that's completely not true, right? And all the studies, basically what you're doing is you're flipping back and forth, and every time you flip away, it takes time to flip back to what you're doing. Usually they say if you have a big interruption, it takes 20 minutes to get back into what you're doing. So if we think we're multitasking, what we're doing is not doing either thing well. Right? Okay. Ernest Holmes says this: our mind should swing from inspiration to action, from contemplation to accomplishment, from prayer to performance. This would be a well-balanced existence. A well-balanced existence, a well-balanced life, right? And from inspiration to action and back again, from contemplation to accomplishment and back again, right? I love this. You've heard me. I've done talks on it. Doobie, 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 doo. Right? We are all doing, and we think the antidote is, well, we're just going to be. I am in my beingness. Just going to be in everything I do. Being, right? Well, it doesn't work that way. This is the life balance. This is a well-balanced existence. Our being we bring into our doing. So we take the time to retreat, to do the spiritual work, to have the meditation, to reduce the workload so that then we can step back in. Do you see? I loved this when I found this quote. This would be a well-balanced existence, this beautiful dance that's going on all the time. Now, when I was in ministerial school, this is what I learned. In Buddhism, they have it right. You should take 1 hour every day, 1 day every week, 1 week every year, and 1 year out of every 5 to be in mystical communion. And I was like, yeah, and you don't live in the 20th century. That would work in an agrarian society. That would work if you were in the top echelon of a feudal society, as the Buddha was in both his family life and towards the end of his life with his wife. Yeah, not so much today. It's a nice ideal. And I will tell you, the first 10 years I was in this work in Science of Mind, I tried to live up to all the ideals that people told me I should do. That was one of them, and how long you should meditate every day, and all the ideal of you should always be in your being state. You should never do anything, just be, and it will all be taken care of. So therefore, you will all take right out of my mind what I need you to move. I don't have to do anything about it. You will all by osmosis know what that is. There's both truth and not truth, right? Do you see? The beingness is the place from which we do, but the doingness is also required. It's never all one or the other. It's the balance, so this is the other thing. You know, I have a very visual and kinesthetic way of understanding things. And when I first learned about balance, work-life balance, I thought that meant you stood at the middle of the teeter-totter and your teeter-totter was always perfectly level. Well, I tried. Oh my God, work's getting too much. Oh my God, I've got to do something about it. I got to have more balance. I better meditate more, and I better go on a retreat. And oh my God, now I didn't get my work done, and now what am I going to, right? And back and forth and back, trying to keep it in the middle. And it's like, wait a minute, that's not how life works. So this is why I like seasons. And rather than this idea that balance is stasis, I think of it as the rhythm. The movement from one end of the teeter-totter to the other. This feels like control and perfectionism, right? I'm going to control it. I'm going to lock it down. Nobody move. Nothing can change. Oh, wait, my son just got sick. Well, shit, now what do I do? I was supposed to write my paper. I was supposed to, right? And all of a sudden, the whole thing is out of whack. Anything can happen. You get a flat tire. The person that you get an unexpected invitation to go on a vacation, whatever it is. And if we're struggling to try to control it and keep it level, it's just adding to the, what did he say? A well-balanced existence. It's just adding to the stress of not having that. It's not about control and perfectionism. It's about flow and rhythm and dance and seasons and being present and doing when it's time and allowing life to be in its cyclical processes and going with that flow as present as we can. And let me just say, my rhythm is different than yours. Your rhythm is different than the person who teaches you meditation, or your friend, or your family, or even whatever I say up here. I can only share with you what works for me, maybe some things I've read or learned, but it's your rhythm, it's your season. It's the paying attention to it that becomes important, not trying to live by other people's rhythms. I mean, I really thought for years, I did. I did an amazing meditation practice for years. And, it's just really astonishing. 45 minutes, 3 hours. Oh, yeah, no problem. Almost every other day, get up really early in the morning or whatever it is. Ha! Then I had a baby. Okay, well, all of that went right out the window. Oh, no. That was not going to happen. I beat myself up for that for quite a while. And then I was like, wait, I'm going to meditate while I'm breastfeeding. What an amazing experience. I'm going to just experience love. Oh, do you see? It's always all available no matter what you're doing, no matter what season or rhythm we're in. It's available to us when we're paying attention. So this, I think, could not be more important. Taking vacations and turning off the phone and doing only emails and social media for a specific short amount of time helps with this work-life balance. I cannot tell you how important I think this is and how much I see people struggle with it. So I was raised European, so, my father thought this 3 weeks of vacation was for the birds, because in Europe they get 6. Because they know people need a break, right? My dad took off. He always took off the week between Christmas and New Year's, and when he had his own business, he closed the business. That's why we do it here at CSLDallas. Bringing sanity after a big push of the holiday season. Bring a little sanity to everybody. Let everybody take a break. Just chill for a bit, right? To find the rhythm of it. The same thing with, if you have notifications on your email and you're sitting in front of the computer and you're going, shh, there's an email, there's an email. All of that is continually breaking the concentration and the ability to do. And if you think you can do that and then come back, as I said before, texts do not need to be answered in 7 minutes. We think they do, but they don't. They're like phone calls now, right? Finding that way of prioritizing and creating a little bit of boundaries around it for ourselves. And when you go on vacation, go on vacation. Go on vacation if you can at all possible. I know some of us don't have the opportunity at our workplaces. Turn off our phone, don't answer the phone, but have a conversation with your boss. Don't think that you are so indispensable that you can't say, I'm going to take this time. Statistically, Americans take 45% of the vacations they're allotted. And the Europeans think the amount of vacation that we're allotted here in the U.S. is for the birds. And we don't even take it. Oh, there's going to be so much work then when I get back. Yeah, but you'll be ready for it. You'll be sharper for it. You'll be energized because of it. This is so important. Actually, our staff here gets in trouble if they don't take their vacations. And and I expect that they will take the time off when they've worked long hours. Take a break. Take a day off. Leave early. right? Because this is life, work, balance. And if we can't do it here, I don't know how we're going to learn to do it out there. We have to practice it. Ernest Holmes says this: the science of mind is the good news for the here and now. If it means anything, it means right living and right thinking wait upon no future, but bestow their rewards in this life, in better health, happier homes, and all that makes for a well-balanced, normal life. This is the good news about the science of mind, right? When we really bring the beingness and the spiritual work to our doingness, when we're willing to exercise our choice, when we recognize that no matter what, life is for us, and we don't have to deserve it or earn it. We just have to keep showing up. When right thinking and right living becomes our habitual way of being, it shows up in our lives. Better health, happier homes, and a greater sense of this well-balanced life. This is the promise of our spiritual work, that we allow ourselves to be in the rhythm of our lives. I really want to encourage you to sign up for my class, Ernest Holmes and His Life and Times. It starts this Thursday. I want to tell you that his spiritual journey, when the first time I read this particular book, which unfortunately is out of print, we make it available to you. His spiritual journey is such an inspiration to the possibilities in our own lives. And when we reflect on the spiritual journey that Ernest Holmes takes, right, we begin to reflect on our spiritual journey. Who were some of the main influences? What were some of the books we read? What were some of the turning points? And how are we using it? Reading about the incredible demonstrations that Ernest Holmes talks about in his own words is so unbelievably inspiring. Not just to have a house or a car or manifest something, but to really transform lives. The stories that he talks about, health and well-being, healing alcoholism and addictions, and on and on and on it goes. It is so inspiring. And then to think about, this is not just his story, right? These are the things that are possible for us when we are on this journey and we're living in a well-balanced life that brings our spirituality to bear. So I really want to encourage you to take it. It's online only. It starts this Thursday, and you can sign up and you'll get the book. It's in PDF form. You can download it. Just take the class. All right, so I'm going to close with this. You'll recognize it. It's called The Road Not Taken. Two roads diverged in the yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as far that the passing there had warned them really about the same, and both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. And so it is.
Thank you, Dr. Petra. Can you tell she's been studying science of mind for 40 years? What a benefit to have here at CSL Dallas, this leadership, this wonderful inspiration, these classes, these workshops. They are available to us because we support CSL Dallas. And we're going to start right here in the sanctuary. If we can have our greeters to please come forward. This is the time when we ask those of you online, please make a generous contribution. Those of you here in the sanctuary, we know you're fulfilling your pledges and you're giving in the ways that you always have. And we always know that that's which we give is multiplied and returns to us many times over. So let's make a blessing now with our abundance affirmation. I am guided and inspired by the living Spirit. Everything that I do is a success. I always have enough abundance. There is a continuous movement of supply and money towards CSL Dallas and our community to be a prosperous, successful spiritual center as we begin this new chapter of unfolding good. And so it is. Thank you, everyone. All right, let's look at our remaining announcements for you today. We want to remind you there's lots of ways to give. There's text giving, PayPal, auto tithing, or save the CSL Dallas credit card fee and put a check or cash in the basket being passed around. Pick the option that works best for you. Now, you are especially invited for our gratitude and release ritual for Suite 115, coming up next Sunday, September 8th, here at CSL Dallas, 10:30 a.m. One thing we know for sure, change is inevitable. And consciously letting go creates space for conscious new beginnings. It's right to grieve, and it's normal to have mixed feelings, and it's okay to be thrilled for the future too. CSL Dallas is committed to this spiritual wholeness as we walk together through these changes. If you were part of the move here and the first build out, or if you or your kids grew up in the classrooms upstairs, or you've participated in food and community in the kitchen in Pankey Hall, or if you're someone who's loved our whole campus, please join us in person if at all possible. Our ritual begins very early in the celebration next Sunday, so don't be late. Got to get here early next week. The celebration will include a special video by Richard Williamson. Thank you, Richard. A treatment of gratitude by Dr. Petra. The gratitude quilt from 2005. If you don't know what that is, be here. Words of release throughout the suite. Special music and a second video during the ritual for everyone online. Your presence is what makes CSL Dallas what it is, and your continued involvement promises a bright and glorious future. We are steadily walking into the future together. So the blessing and open house at our grand reopening will be on Sunday, October 6th. So start looking forward to that. So next Sunday, sort of saying goodbye, and then we're looking forward to our grand reopening on October 6th. Okay, but still got some work to get there for our next work party. That's happening this Wednesday, and we're starting to put things back where they go and setting things up. We need your help. Please bring your tools. Help us move. Start setting things back up. We'll be working from 5 to 8 p.m. Wednesday. You can come for all or just part of the time. If you can bring some food, please bring food. We love to eat while we're working. And in fact, you can sign up to bring us food. You can do that online. You watch for emails and texts that come to you about this. You click on the links and tell us if you're bringing food. Tell us when you're coming. And if you're just inspired to do it and you remember, show up whether you signed up or not. Be here and help us. Don't be left out. Be part of the next phase of CSL Dallas. All right. Our spiritual coaches are here. They're right across the breezeway in Pankey Hall. Available for you every Sunday. They're here today to give you a science of mind treatment, to lift you into a greater expression of your greater yet to be. They want to do that for you here. If you're with us online, please check the chat box. You can click on a Zoom link and meet with a practitioner in that way as well. We send you off with love and blessings into a great week. And right now we close out this celebration with our fabulous music team. Please rise and let's sing this celebration out together.